It's no secret that Joel Embiid has been on a historic pace for the last 2 months. Since December 3rd, the 27-year-old center has been a one-man wrecking crew, averaging roughly 32.5 points, 11 rebounds, and almost 5 assists per game on an incredible 53% from the floor and 35% from three. For his efforts over the last 2 months, Embiid was named Eastern Conference Player of the Month for the months of December and January. Embiid also has the Philadelphia 76ers at game and a half out of first place in the Eastern Conference. Unless you're living under a rock, you'd know that this current stretch from Embiid has him anchored into what has turned into a 2 to 3 man race for the league's MVP award. An award that Embiid arguably should have won last season, in my opinion, if not for missing 21 games due to injury. And obviously, as you can tell, I am a Sixers fan. I do believe the eye test gives Embiid this season's MVP, because if you just watch the games, he's been pretty dominant. I know what Jokic and Giannis are doing deserve similar credit, because I know the advanced stats love Jokic, but I think Embiid should win it. I mean, if you told me Jokic should win it or Giannis should win it, I can't really argue with you, but my preference is Embiid. What are you going to do? This year's Joel Embiid, in my opinion, has been the most dominant post player the league has seen since prime Shaquille O'Neal. And if the season were to end today, Embiid would be the first center since Shaq to win the NBA scoring title. It seems as if during or after every Sixers game, I see tweets and graphics putting Embiid's numbers alongside those of other Sixers franchise greats, players like Allen Iverson and Wilt Chamberlain, in terms of his numbers over, X amount of games in a row or whatever. Getting into the reasoning itself behind Embiid's success this season, my first point of emphasis is how much better the Sixers offense looks this season as opposed to years prior. Obviously, the main difference between this season and last season, the absence of Ben Simmons. Ironically, that quote-unquote absence has made way for the progression of rising star Tyrese Maxey. I've made a video on him. You'll see the little card show up on the corner of the screen here. If you haven't watched that, check it out. It's a pretty good video in my opinion. Being able to have 4 capable shooters around Joel Embiid gives the Sixers the ability to space the floor and also allows Embiid to operate within the post and the mid-range, where he's shooting a roughly 43% from the mid-range as a 7-footer. In addition to the floor spacing that the lack of Ben Simmons provides the Sixers themselves are bottom 5 in the league when it comes to pace this season. As opposed to last season, they were 12th with Simmons. I believe that this slower pace of the game has allowed Embiid to operate and excel in the half-court sets rather than allowing the paint to be clogged in half-court sets with Ben Simmons in the dunker spot. This season, they've been putting Matisse Thybulle in the dunker spot more often than not, but usually they've been allowing Joel Embiid kind of 4 out 1 in a little bit, and he's been killing in the interior. Outside of the Ben Simmons-less offense, Embiid himself has become such a better playmaker throughout the season. He's averaging the most assists per game of his career, coupled with the lowest turnover numbers of his career. And even outside of just like the assist numbers, the way that Embiid has handled and passed out of double teams this season has been probably the most impressive part of his progression as an NBA player, because he used to be really, really bad when it came to that, especially in the playoffs. Teams like the Raptors would key in on that. It was really bad to watch. His decision making just as a whole in double teams has been like night and day this season compared to years prior. And it's honestly given defenses a choice. You can either allow Embiid to face up or post up on just one guy, where he's either getting fouled, which I believe he leads the league in free throws attempted for this season. He's either getting fouled or he's just getting to the rim, or he's facing up and probably hitting a mid-range shot. Or you can double team him, where he'll pass it out to an open look on the perimeter, or get some sort of like hockey assist where the ball moves around on the perimeter. Sixers get a 3 or a mid-range shot. So the offense ran through Embiid has been very potent for the Sixers this season. And as someone who's watched as many Sixers games as I can this season, I don't believe I've missed too many. The offense that Embiid brings game in and game out has been really, really fun to watch, because the offense run through Embiid as it should. It's been really effective. Embiid is clearly the most dominant paint presence the league has to offer this season. And in my opinion, it's not even close. I mean, you can see in the clips What other center do you know that's taking step back threes like this and is also being this dominant within the arc, whether that's facing up or getting to the basket? His play and leadership this season has put the Sixers front office in more of a favorable situation than I thought they were going to have with the whole Ben Simmons thing. Whereas they don't necessarily have to rush into a trade. I know there's been a lot of dialogue recently about a Simmons for Harden sort of deal, and the trade deadline's in a few days as I'm recording this. A lot of people, especially like on Twitter, Sixers media, stuff like that, don't want the Sixers to squander another season of Embiid's prime. They want to get a big name player and contend for a title, and obviously Embiid's probably best season. Because the East is, as contentious as it is, it's also very wide open. I believe the Sixers are the 5 seed right now, but they're still, as I said earlier, only a game and a half out of first place in the Eastern Conference. So there's not really a clear favorite. Sixers could be that. A lot of teams could be that, especially with the kind of downfall of the Brooklyn Nets right now. But I personally think if the Sixers don't make a big name trade this trade deadline, whatever supporting cast that Embiid has around him could and maybe should be good enough for the Sixers to at least make the Eastern Conference Finals, potentially even an NBA Finals run. But I can understand wanting to trade for a big name player. With Embiid playing this dominantly, I don't think there's a player in the Eastern Conference that can go toe-to-toe with him in the paint. But obviously, this whole supporting cast situation will be figured out in days to come. Whether it gets resolved or not with Ben Simmons, obviously, as well, soon to be resolved, hopefully. But regardless of what happens with the supporting cast, in my mind, I believe that Joel Embiid should be the league's MVP this season, at this point in the season. I'm pretty certain he's the Vegas favorite as of right now. And if he stays healthy, I believe it's honestly his race to lose. And like I said earlier, if you want to say a player like Nikola Jokic or Giannis Antetokounmpo deserves MVP, I can't argue with you because, like I said earlier, they've been doing some incredible stuff. I might even have to do videos on those players, maybe if you want them. We'll see. But I feel Joel Embiid has the best case scenario, or the best case this season, especially if the Sixers are able to get the 1 seed at the end of the season. What's up, guys? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video for today. If you guys want to like, comment, subscribe, why not? Helps me out a lot. Here somewhere will be the Tyrese Maxey video I alluded to earlier. It's a good video. Kind of shed some more light on what the Sixers offense is being able to do minus Ben Simmons. Pretty good video. One of my favorite to do. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoy your day. Peace.